back, everyone. Toyshiz here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another early, fresh look, courtesy of my friends over at Playmates Toys. And today, we are going to be checking out a brand new mashup featuring the Ninja Turtles and, of course, Netflix's Stranger Things. We just had the wrap on Season 4 for Stranger Things. Stranger Things is in the air, and I really did enjoy a return to form for this recent season, which will ultimately lead to the finale, hopefully, with Season 5. I'd like to see it wrap up. I know they're probably going to do spin-offs and whatnot. Hey, maybe a Ninja Turtle meets Stranger Things spin-off. No, don't do that, right? I mean, it's in the 80s. I guess it would work. You know what? Just we'll leave it alone. But yeah, we have two new 2-packs, which are exclusive to Target, with 2 on the way. So these 2 will hit in the fall. And then, of course, you will see Michelangelo and Donatello's pack later, sometime early next year. So not too far off from one another. But you have Leonardo and Eleven, and then you have Raphael versus Hopper. And I mean, for as much as the 2 meeting up makes sense, I guess that's a good mashup in the pack. Now, to be honest with you, I would have liked to have seen an incorporation of the 2. Instead of a versus 2-pack, have the Ninja Turtles kind of be mashed up in a way with the characters from Stranger Things. I think that would have been kind of funny, much like they've done with Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles, or WWE in the past, right, with Mattel. So I kind of like that. I mean, not to say that these aren't interesting, of course. You have the original Mirage Ninja Turtles going on, and then you have basically Season 3's cast of Stranger Things. So again, very 80s overall, and I think that a lot of people, especially watching this video, are going to gravitate more towards the Ninja Turtles. That's at least how I'm going. I do have quite a few McFarlane Toys, we'll say Stranger Things figures. However, these look to be a lot more toyetic, a lot more in the realm of a basic toy. Not so much a collector's line, but a toy, more for, we'll say, possibly for kids, more for those that are getting into Ninja Turtles, want something different, or you're just a fan of Stranger Things. We'll have to see how this goes. And of course, here are the barcodes for each of the packs when they begin hitting Target store shelves later in this year. But in either case, this is going to be fun. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the brand new Playmates Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Stranger Things 2-packs. Let's check them out. And of course, here's everything taken out of the packaging for the 2 box sets. So, you of course have Hopper and Raphael, and then you have Leonardo and Eleven. And you do get a lot of accessories between the 2 sets. That's definitely a plus. That's what I like to see. The very respective accessories that you would see for Ninja Turtles and, of course, Stranger Things. Things we've seen from prior release companies like McFarlane Toys and Bondi. So with the Hopper and Raphael pack, you do get an axe. It's fairly simple. You got the black top and you got the brown handle to it. It does look like wood. It's not too shabby at all. It's just very simplistic, and that's something to really consider, I think, when talking about these. These are not going to be your collector turtles. These are not the answer to NECA. These are not the answer to Super 7. These are the turtles that are trying to be for kids, because you'll see they're very durable figures, but they're kind of treading along the line of, hey, this is going to be a collector's line, right? Well, kind of, sort of, and I would say not really. I think Playmates really does look the best when they're doing their thing without trying to be something else. So you have the bat with the nails sticking out of it. It's all one solid color. They did not paint the nails on it, short of how it's shown on the box packaging. You do get a flashlight, and you do get a flashlight, same one with 11. It's got some green. It's got some nice silver to it. It's just a flashlight from the 80s. It's not too shabby at all. It actually looks pretty cool. A little bit of a warpage to it. And you do get a gun with Hopper. It's nicely done. He does hold it. It's got the handles painted, and again, nice silver paint for the actual metal parts of the gun. Same as the flashlight. When it comes to Hopper, we'll say. Now here's where I'm going to tell you, this is not that collector line, right? This is the toyetic version of the Ninja Turtles that Playmates likes to do. It's kind of like their Ninja Turtles versus Cobra Kai. They're all supposed to be very just toy versions. They're not the ultra realistic like McFarlane or Bandai, so you just take it as you see it. And while the face is not going to scream Hopper to me whatsoever, I do like the 80s shirt. I think that came out good. It's a nice pattern all the way around. And to be honest with you, the toys themselves, like this or not, right? You'll say that the toys are very much just toys, and that's okay. We have gotten many different versions of Stranger Things figures. Funko even makes them. You know what I mean? So this is nice to see in the sense of if you're a fan of Stranger Things and you just happen to be a fan of Ninja Turtles, well then you might totally dig this. However, I will have more thoughts on this subject in a few when we get to the Turtles, because that's my jam. But you see the articulation, right? It's very simplistic. There's not a whole lot of paint to these. There's some paint elements, right? Silver watch, the face, and things of that nature. And again, it's not a bad sculpt if you're looking at, if this was like Stranger Things the cartoon, that's kind of how I see it. He doesn't have peg holes on the bottom of his feet, but you do get a lot of articulation out of him, and it's very durable. There's nothing at the waist. You think that there would be, but mine does not turn at the waist, and then you get the head articulation as well. So really, it is one of those things where these are just the toy versions of Stranger Things. There's nothing wrong with that, but then it also creates stuff like, well, who are these for? Are they trying to be the collector? Yes, it's kind of the Ninja Turtle tanks of these things, to be quite honest with you. Moving on to Raphael. So again, you get a really cool 80s Walkman. I love the way that this thing looks. It's very simplistic. It's got all the sculpted buttons. It's got the tape deck. On this side, I would say it gets a little weird. I really wish it was the full piece. We'll say that. I think it's intentionally done to have him hold it easily with one of his hands, but then that creates a problem with holding the weapons. Then you'll soon see. You've got the headphones portion. You've got the wire. It all works. I'll show you everything, how it works on top of the figure in just a second. But very simplistic, very toy-ish, but it does the trick in terms of what these are going for. Now you also have one of my favorite aspects for these turtle sets. This is the goofiness that I would expect them to do. If they didn't mash up the turtles between the two characters like we've seen prior with Ghostbusters and Turtles or Wrestlers and Turtles, this is what I would like to see. An Eggo waffle throwing star. There's not much to it, but that's the kind of goofy Ninja Turtle crossover nonsense that I enjoy. Then you have two of Raphael's size. They look good. They're nicely done. They're very simplistic. Silver on the plastic. There's not much paint except for on the handle, but you get the idea. So he can hold them, and I'll show you everything in just a few. Now with Raphael himself, I'm only going to go over his articulation because he's pretty much the exact same turtle minus the head sculpt as Leonardo. But yes, these are 100% newly sculpted turtles, and they are directly from issue number 1 of the Ninja Turtle Mirage comic book, the very first issue by Eastman and Laird. And you can tell that because of the proportions. The long turtle snout right there. And then you have the big old proportions right here with the arms, the legs. You have, and it's very many ways different from panel to panel in the original comic. The skinny part of the legs and then the larger parts of the feet. So yes, the feet kind of go either way in terms of the size, but these definitely do reflect the first original Mirage comic. And he's got big clodhopper feet, which does help him to stand, and you can do a lot of great posing out of these guys. The head will move just to and fro, just like this, so you got a lot of movement out of him. I like that he can look up and look down. He actually looks up a lot more than he looks down, to be quite honest with you. You got the arms right here. They move every which way. You've got bicep. You have double jointed elbows, but then it only goes till about there. That's the degree you're going to get. It kind of goes, it's like the reverse. It kind of goes back instead of going curling in. The wrists will spin. They will rock to and fro as well. Now, there's nothing here in the waist. Some of the recent turtle figures will have waist articulation. These figures, again, they're well sculpted. Like, I really do enjoy the look of this turtle. That's the Mirage Ninja Turtle look right there. But there's a very toyish feel. They're not NECA toys. They're not Super 7 figures. They're very, we'll say, they're light-ish, right? And they're not going to break on it. These things are pretty solid. Everything moves without getting loose. That's good. That's good for kids. If kids want to get into Ninja Turtles, or even if you're the collector and you get everything Ninja Turtle, you'll probably enjoy these figures quite a lot. They do have peg holes on the bottom of their feet. That's good. The one problem I do have is that there is no weapon storage on these turtles. So from Raph to Leo, and I'm going to assume the later sets, Michelangelo, Donatello, there is no weapon storage. And that, to me, bums me out because I really do wish that they had it. Now, not to say that in the comics they kind of make do. Leonardo definitely does have weapon storage. Donatello definitely does too. Whether or not you want to say they put them right in the belts for Michelangelo, you can make that argument. But with me, for Ninja Turtles, I always like it when you can put the weapons in them. So that's one thing that I really wish they would have changed. Other than that, a few more degrees of paint, something like that, which I'm not going to complain about, would have been awesome. It really would have made these things pop. You've got the red. You've got one heck of a face sculpt on them. That's awesome. Really like what they did there. So there are a few issues here and there with the Ninja Turtles themselves, especially in holding the weapons, which I'll get to. You have a very secure weapon holding hand, and then you have the Walkman holding hand, which doesn't really hold the weapons because it's too much of an open grip, unfortunately. That's where some extra hands really would have come in handy when doing these Ninja Turtles. So we'll put him down. We'll look at all the weapons in just a second and how they hold them, but let's go ahead and get into Leonardo and Eleven. Now, for the most part, Leonardo gets the same exact accessories, minus the weapons, of course. So you have the two katana blades, same thing as Raphael. They're just a flat gray, silverish plastic. And then you have paint right here. So not too bad. Again, I'll show you exactly how he holds them, but they have the same exact hands, one Walkman holding hand, and then, of course, one weapon holding hand. The only difference between Hopper and Eleven is that she comes with a backpack. It is a nicely done backpack. You got black right here, you got white. There's quite a bit of paint on this for being such a simplistic little backpack. So, well done. It fits on her nicely. Again, I'll show you all that in just a second. And she does come with the walkie-talkie / phone sort of deal, which all the Stranger Things figures have come with in one way or another. So you can see the detail on it. It's flat black plastic, which, hey, totally works. Some extra paint would have been nice, but hey, it's not a bad looking walkie-talkie phone either. Now, with 11, I would say, again, in talking about the toyetic nature of these Stranger Things figures, she has a great head sculpt on her. It's a very pretty face, right? Usually it's kind of goes one way or the other in terms of female faces, but it does look good. She's got some paint on the scrunchie up there. These are very much the season 3 versions of 11 and Hopper. So you've got that really wild 80s shirt. You got the high jeans, everything down to her white sneakers. So not a whole heck of a lot of paint. There's some paint here. The shirt, of course, the eyes, the face, everything else. The articulation is what it is. Now she spins at the waist. Maybe Hopper is just stuck. But yeah, you got thigh swivel. You've got spinning at the knees. And again, I'll tell you all day, she's very much a toy. This is the not gonna brag on you, throw this thing around, very durable sort of toy. And that is nice to see. Leonardo, same exact articulation, just a little bit of a different head portrait, much like the old Playmates Turtles, where they have just a little bit of an open mouth, or one side or both sides, depending on the turtle. No weapon storage, of course. Again, very durable, very solid turtle. But let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. So in looking at the accessories and how they hold them, for the most part, they're pretty solid. There's an essence that I wish some of the grips were a little bit tighter, especially like, let's say, on 11s or Hoppers and holding the club or the flashlight. It depends on the weapon. The flashlight may be a little bit too thin for the hand, where the bat might be fitting just perfectly. It kind of goes either which way. Now, for the turtles specifically, I told you that on one hand, they have the weapon holding hand where, yeah, it fits in nicely. He holds it nicely. That's Leonardo right there. On this side, this is meant for the Walkman, holding that right there and doing his thing, which, yes, they fit around. They look good. He holds it nicely, but then that creates a problem when holding the weapon. See right here, when you put it in, yes, it fits, right? He holds it, but then it doesn't look right. He's not really holding it. He's doing like this kind of thing where it's just like kind of in his hand. So that's where an extra hand really would have come in handy. I don't like the way they look. I mean, just, you know, if you're going to go more for that collector line, those are the things that you need. But that is why I'm keeping in the realm of, these are the toys for kids, very specific collectors, although a lot of collectors are going to want these more Mirage Turtles. So weapon storage would have been ideal. A little bit of an issue with holding the weapons. But I'll tell you all day, I do love the 80s headphones. And this was kind of funny because you think, well, how am I going to put these on? Like, where are the turtles' ears? Well, you kind of just do this. I mean, that's the simplest remedy right there. Again, he holds it nicely. The wire looks good. Raphael holding this side. Everything looks fantastic on this guy in terms of the accessories, minus the weapons issue. That's one thing. Now, like I said, in terms of 11, the grip on her hand, see, it kind of falls in between. If you can kind of get it to where the button, it's gonna go either which way. The walkie-talkie, on the other hand, see, it fits nicely in her hand, so no problems there. So not too shabby at all. Backpack looks good. Backpack fits really nicely. So well done on the Stranger Things aspects. I think that in terms of being a toy, these fare the best. The Turtles, of course, you're going to look at them more with a critical eye because of, well, they're the Ninja Turtles. And then Hopper, like I said, likeness aside, I like the shirt, the gun. You can put the finger in the trigger. That's really nice right there. That's a cool attention to detail. And then you have the bat, which is kind of loose in his hands, unless you put it all the way down. And then he holds it, no problemo. In terms of the scaling, the turtles between themselves, they're going to go together beautifully. They're always around the same height to one another. You can actually extend their legs, make them crouch down. That's no problem right there. However, when it comes to including the Stranger Things figures, it's just not going to scale. They're going to be their own scale in and of itself. I know a lot of people are going to want these sets because of the turtles, which, yeah, the turtles, there's a couple issues here and there, but for the most part, they are pretty cool. The Stranger Things, however, those will fit together, right? Depends on what the next two sets, how they'll scale. But I would say that in so many ways, we'll say for season 3, I'd say Hopper and 11 aren't that far off in the whole posability. She could have been a little bit shorter, of course, we'll just say that. But at least Hopper is taller than 11. Now, I'm looking at the scaling and then, of course, the comparison between other brands, other Ninja Turtle lines. If you look at the NECA Toys, we'll say Mirage Turtles, they're going to be a whole heck of a lot smaller. They're more tight, more concise, we'll say. They got a lot more paint, a lot more attention to detail. Now, if you wanted to paint them yourself and put some paint, which I don't like doing, that's just not my thing, but I know a lot of customizers out there love doing that kind of thing. So in that realm, yes, you can really make this the Mirage Turtle of your dreams. However, this is a very simplistic take on them, but it is not collector line. This is ultimately the regular toy aisle version of the Mirage Turtles. And of course, adding in more, like the Super 7. These new Playmates ones are definitely taller than they are, and they're going to be taller than the NECA cartoon versions as well. But I will tell you that the NECA Toys Universal Monster Turtles are at least taller than these versions. And if you are one of those collectors that was looking for, oh, hey, did they go with my DC Multiverse? Will they go with my Marvel Legends? Shorter than DC Multiverse's McFarlane's, they're around the same size as the Marvel Legends, so no, I would say in all honesty, I mean, they don't go together as it is. I mean, there's tons of mashups these days, but yeah, they're going to be a little bit too tall for Marvel Legends, maybe a bit better for McFarlane DC Multiverse. And really looking at what Playmates has done, from the original 80s Ninja Turtles to now these, there has certainly been a lot of odd choices. They've kind of had their ups and downs, let's be quite honest. There's a lot of great stuff, a lot of wonky stuff, a lot of interesting choices made in articulation. However, I will say this, if this is the go-ahead going forward, then I would say they're on the right track to becoming Playmates Toys with Ninja Turtles. Again, I'm on board to see all the great things that lie ahead. But I would say keep this in mind. It's going to be a long trek back to the top because everyone else is doing just top-notch Ninja Turtle merch. And again, I'll say all day, it's very interesting to have so many different Ninja Turtle mashups. You could even put the Stranger Things with the whole Cobra Kai line and have a big Netflix universe, right? So many ways, from Batman to Stranger Things to Cobra Kai. Dare I say they all kind of fit within the realm of scaling with one another, but I mean, things are a little bit off here and there. But like I said, Netflix universe, right? So that's really going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new Playmates Toys' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Stranger Things. And again, thank you to Playmates Toys for sending these out to give you guys this early, fresh look. And of course, you've heard my thoughts, and now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Stranger Things. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, keep bringing on the mashups, baby. I love it. I love seeing these things. We went from Cobra Kai to Stranger Things. Just keep it going. It's going to be fantastic. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.